Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Sara Erdner. Thank you so much for letting me be your mental strength coach. This information is brought to you for Figure It Out Baseball. Now this is video 3 of a 3-part series that's teaching you about visualization. So I want to encourage you that if you haven't watched video 1 or video 2 of this series, to start back at video 1 to learn what visualization is, why it's important. Video 2 teaches you how to properly visualize. In this video we are going to be doing a visualization script. Now again, if you haven't watched Series 1 either, which is Mental Strength Fundamentals, I encourage you to start from video 1 of Series 1 because all the components that I talk about in that series are components that we're going to be using especially in this video. In the last video, video 2, we talked about how to properly visualize. I had you write down a scenario that you wanted to work on in order to increase your performance. And then we wrote down 5 things that you saw, 4 things that you could feel in that moment, 3 things that you could hear, 2 things that you could taste, and 1 thing that you could smell in that particular scenario. Now I want us to bring that into this video when we actually engage in a visualization script. So, a few things here to know also about visualization. A lot of times when people visualize, they close their eyes, but you don't have to if you don't want to. That's perfectly fine. It's whatever is most comfortable for you. Because understanding that most times people close their eyes if they're visualizing outside of a practice game scenario, but understanding that you can visualize as well during practice and game-like scenarios, and having your eyes open at that time because obviously you need to see. So, that's for starters. Opening your eyes, closing your eyes just depends on the specific situation you're in. Secondly, when people visualize, it's either from a first-person point of view, so when they are visualizing something, they are feeling themselves doing it from an internal point of view, or from a third-person point of view, which is that they're external from themselves, they're watching themselves execute the task. Whatever one you end up taking and is most comfortable for you, that is perfectly fine. So understand that for some, they're going to take an internal visualization perspective, others take an external visualization perspective. Now, what I want us to do is find ourselves in a comfortable position. If you're sitting down, that is perfectly fine. You can lie down as well. Again, what do you do with your hands? You can have them palm down on the top of your thighs. If you're lying down, you can have them next to your sides, just nice and loose. What I want us to do, and this is referencing some videos on sports psychology fundamentals, is talking about our breath. That's what we're going to use before everything that we do in baseball is your breath, because your breath fuels your performance. Your breath is what's going to fuel this visualization. So again, shoulders back, chest open so that we're getting the entirety of that lung. Don't hunch over, no arms crossed, because we're cutting off the lung's capacity to bring in as much oxygen as possible. So shoulders back, chest open, and if it's comfortable for you, closing your eyes. And let's use that breathing pattern that worked best for you, in through the nose, out through the mouth, just anchoring yourself in this present moment. Now I want you to put yourself in the scenario that you wrote down. Whether it was an at-bat scenario, pitching, fielding, catching, whatever it is. I want you to start engaging all 5 of your senses in that moment. What are you seeing right now as you're playing this scenario out in your head? What are you feeling? Maybe it's the bat or it's the ball, it's your glove, the dirt. What are you hearing in this moment? The crowd, your teammates cheering you on, the umpire, the wind. What can you smell and taste? And now that we've engaged all 5 of our senses in this moment, I want you to walk yourself and visualize, imagine the best case scenario spanning out. In whatever scenario that you're in. Again, taking a deep breath and exhaling. Watching yourself and feeling yourself go through the best case scenario. And then again, playing this best case scenario back over and over again. Maybe if it's batting, you step into the batter's box, you feel yourself loading up, watching the pitcher as they prepare to give you the pitch. You feel your body take that one last breath, feeling it one with the bat, fueling your body with that breath, powering your body for fast reaction time, most power behind the ball. Feeling as the ball make contact with your bat. And then watching it as it soars out over the fence. And that feeling of victory. And again, playing the scenario over and over, deeply and vividly visualizing it. Maybe you're on the mound. You see the catcher give you the sign. You either agree with it or don't. You feel the ball in your hand. You take that deep breath on the mound, energizing your body one last time, winding up, all the power behind the ball, feeling a perfect release off your fingertips, and then seeing the umpire call strike. Continuing in this visualization to connect with your breath. And if you would like, you can continue with this exercise as long as you would like. And then knowing that when you're ready, you may open your eyes. Now, the important thing to understand about visualization is that you are in control of what you visualize. So when we start out by first identifying the task that we want to increase our performance on, or to just mentally rehearse, and then also identifying what's the best case scenario, and very vividly writing out what that best case scenario is. I want to encourage you to work with your coaches in this situation to determine, is your best case scenario the same thing that the coach has in mind for the best case scenario? Or maybe the coach can add some things to your best case scenario that's going to make that situation a little bit more vivid. And then the next step after determining the best case scenario is to write down, what are you seeing in that situation? What are you hearing and feeling and smelling and tasting, so that you know that you're having the most vivid picture possible. And then taking a moment, maybe it's before the competition, at night before you go to bed, to visualize that best case scenario spanning out in whatever tasks you need to work on. And also remembering that you can preload this scenario in your brain right before you actually execute the task. So maybe if you are in the dugout, about to go back out onto the field to pitch, you can take the last couple moments in the dugout to anchor yourself in that breath, play the best case scenario in your mind, priming your brain right before you go out on the mound or on the field or in the batter's box to increase your probability of actually performing the task in the best way possible. So again, my name is Dr. Sara Erdner. I want to invite you to watch the next video series, which is going to be talking about a more new age thing in sport performance. I invite you to watch Series 3 to learn a little bit more about how mindfulness can help you with your baseball performance. And as always, if there is any way that you feel I could help customize this mental strength programming for you, or you have further questions, you can contact me. Thank you so much for letting me be your mental strength coach. This information is brought to you for Figure It Out Baseball.